guess where we are? We've been here.
I want to be here.
We've been here almost 3 hours, and she just finally got a bed. Sucks.
My back's killing me right now.
We're hoping it's not a rejection of her kidney, but it's her kidney that's giving her a problem.
Yep. I'm just hoping maybe I have an infection or something.
We're hoping. Or else just twitched her back the wrong way or something.
Something like that, so we'll see. But
as much as I hated sitting in the waiting room, the chair was way more comfortable.
I believe it was. So, wish you could drag it back in here. That would be nice.
If I could drag it back in here, I would. It was all cushioned and everything.
Yep.
But,
so.
All right, well, say some prayers for Mary.
Thank you. I appreciate it, guys.
Let me turn you around and show you how awful this chair looks. I know.
I'd like to sit on the bed if I could.
It looks better than it feels, let me tell you.
I agree.
It's like awful. It's like a folding chair.
It is a folding chair. Well, at least they got a little padding.
A little bit of padding.
Not much.
Well, good evening. Today is Friday, June 27th, and we have 3 birthdays. Today is Sue Colbeck's birthday. So, Sue, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sue. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. It's also Lynn Hellman's son's birthday, whose name is John. So, John, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear John. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. And I wrote it down here. Lenora Wow, W-A-U-G-H, is 7 years old today. Lenora, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lenora. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Well, I hope all 3 of you have a great, great birthday. Well, I am home, but Mary is not. They admitted Mary to the hospital. She's going to be in there for the weekend. Thankfully, it's not a liver or kidney rejection. She's got some kind of a kidney, not a kidney infection. Well, they couldn't really say. They couldn't say if it was a bladder infection or if she had kidney stones or what, but her cultures came back high, so like she's got some kind of infection going on. They're not exactly sure, but with the transplant, they want to make sure that she stays in the hospital so that they can keep a closer watch on her, and they're going to do like every couple hours, do some urine tests and blood tests and things like that with her. But they said that she went for a CAT scan, and they said that everything looks fine. There's no abnormalities in any of the liver or the kidneys that they could see. But like I said, that the blood work and the cultures from the urine test came back with some kind of infection. So she called me this morning at 8 o'clock, and I heard her ringtone, and I'm thinking, I am not answering that, because that woman just woke me up yesterday at 8 o'clock to ask me if we were going to lunch at 12 o'clock, when she knew the damn well the answer was yes, we were. But I thought, no, I'm always going to answer. I always answer. And she was crying. She was in so much pain. And she asked me if I could come and pick her up. Well, I don't drive because it's downtown. That's like, oh my gosh, especially all that traffic. So I woke Jim up and I said, can you drive us down and drop us off and then come back and get me later on? So he said, yes, he would. So we got down to the hospital about 9 o'clock. Jim dropped us off. We went right into the emergency room. They took her right away. And then we sat in the triage area. And I have never sat with such a bunch of entitled people. I wish I would have filmed it so you could have heard what I had to hear. They were complaining about everything, like they thought they were checking into a 5-star hotel and they were just put off that they had to wait. And they just thought that they were the only ones there with some kind of an emergency, and that they were the only ones there that had anything wrong with them. And they were like batshit crazy. I hate to say it like that, but they were like batshit crazy. They were driving me crazy. And even Mary was saying, oh my gosh. And there was one lady that obviously was, I don't know what was going on with her, but she was going around blessing everybody, which is good. I'll always take a blessing, but she'd raise her hands and she'd, ask for the Holy Spirit to come and bless upon everybody that was there. And then finally they came and took her. I don't know what was wrong with her. I really don't. I don't. And then the girl next to me was complaining because she was 4 weeks pregnant, And she was mad because her boyfriend didn't have the time of day to come and bring her down. And so she was yelling at everybody in the triage unit that how unfair it was, that, you know, he didn't have a problem getting me pregnant, blah, 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 blah. And she was going on. And then she was hungry and there was nothing to eat. And Mary had brought some graham crackers. So I said, would you like some graham crackers? She grabbed them out of my hands and never said thank you and just wolfed them down. And I'm thinking, call Mary's. So they finally called Mary and we went in the back and they had to do testing and stuff like that. You know, they did the blood work and we had to wait for that. And we saw the doctor. Then we saw the kidney transplant doctors. They came down and we had to see the liver transplant doctors and then they came down. And then the first doctor came back and said that the other doctors had ordered the scans. And so we had to wait for them to come to get the scans. And so they told us her appointment was at 1:45 for her to go get her scans. And it got to be like 2:30 and her nurse had come in for something. And she says, you know, I was supposed to go at 1:45 for scans. And she says, oh my gosh, you're right. She says, well, according to this, you're supposed to be back in your room by 2:15. Mary says, well, I'm in my room. Or not a room, but you know, like the curtain area. She said, well, I am in my curtained area. She says, yeah, but that's not going to do. You didn't do your scans. So then they called somebody and they brought her up for that. And then we had to wait when we were up there. Then when we got back, we had to wait for the nurse and the kidney and liver triage doctors to come back. And so finally about 4:30, they told Mary, well, we're just going to keep you overnight. We're going to keep you till Sunday just to keep an observation of you. And so they looked at me and says, you can go home. I said, thank you. I wish you would have told me that like 7 hours ago. But I still would have stayed with her. So they were just getting ready to bring her up to her room. So I called Jim, told him to come pick me up. Of course, that's all rush hour traffic. So it took him almost an hour to get down there to get me. And we just got home just in time because it is pouring rain right now. Pouring coming down. Which is good because I was going to water my flowers when I got home. And I looked at the skies and I thought, I don't think I'm going to have to. I think the rain's going to come and do it. So anyway, while I was there, I brought my book and started it and finished it. The whole time I was there. Although I have to admit it was hard reading it in the triage unit with all them people yelling and screaming and I'm being loud. And then they all talked on their phones, like screaming into their phones. 2 people were playing games on their phones, so you got to hear the bing, 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 bing from the games. I was just going, I just thought, where is the common courtesy nowadays? There's no common courtesy. And I know it's dark in here because it's like my perfect day now that I'm home. It's raining, it's dark, I should have a light on. Well, let's turn the light on. How's that sound? There, that's a little bit better. Let's get my light on. It's 6:30. It's just, so I'm going to settle in here. Put my legs up because, oh, and that was another thing. When we were in the triage unit, we were, like I showed you, we were in the most comfortable chairs. Oh my gosh, you just kind of sunk into them. You could fall asleep. They were so comfortable. And then they bring us in the back room, which I understand, but it was just like a folding chair. It was so uncomfortable. I liked when we went up for the ultrasound because I had to wait in there for 45 minutes in that waiting room, but it was back to the comfortable chairs again. So I wasn't going to complain. At least I was comfortable. But the hospital was cold. Oh my gosh. I read one of the thermostats. It was 65 degrees. They had it set at 65. My house is set at 75. That's just, I don't know. I know they don't want to have germs. That's probably why they keep it so cool, but it was like, oh my gosh. Anyway, so now I'm home, in for the night. Mary's doing well. They gave her something for pain, so she's flying high. Oh, that was another thing, because when she picked me up, she ate breakfast before she went. And then we picked her up and I got down there. And it got to be like 2 o'clock, and I'm starting to get hungry. And Mary says to the nurse, could I have a sandwich or something? Because I am so hungry. I have not eaten since breakfast. And I looked at her and I'm thinking, I haven't eaten since last night at 5:30. What are you talking about? But I didn't going to say anything. So then she brought her a turkey sandwich and a bag of chips and a package of cookies, 2 packages of cookies, a bag of chips, the sandwich, 2 things of apple juice, and some crackers. And so then I was waiting for Mary to offer me something, but then I'm thinking, I want to take those chips because I was hungry. And she looked at me and she says, you haven't eaten breakfast, have you? And I said, no, I haven't eaten since last night. She says, oh, well, how about a bag of chips? And I said, that sounds good, because I was going to take them anyhow. So she gave me the bag of chips. It kind of held me over. So now I'm going to go have something to eat now. But eventful day. But Mary's doing well. But if you could pray for her that it's just really just an infection that they can clear up with some medication, I would appreciate it. So that'll do it for today. So let's talk again tomorrow. Let's see you then.